Hello everyone, it's George and welcome back to Call of Dragons. As dedicated free-to-play player who played this game for more than 500 days, I'm excited to share some insider tips and tricks with you. Stick around and let's dive in. If you have played Call of Dragons for a couple of seasons, you understand how important it is to utilize your policy system, because if you will mess up policies, you are going to have a pretty big consequences, because you kinda have to reset all of your prestige, and nobody wants to start over whenever you are progressing through the season of KVK, because from the policies you are going to have a lot of amazing benefits which will be effective in the battlefield, right? In order for everybody to understand and to start in a correct way in terms of policies, I think this video will be for you guys. So let's try to understand and let's try to see what's new and how these policies are going to affect the KVK, which is Season of Stripe 2, right? At first, I will start speaking about early game policies, because I think the start of the KVK is really important, because it's kind of like a rush, because you want to be stronger and ready for the battle in a faster way, right? Here we have chain of command and spread of the word, right? I think both of the policies needs to be at least on 8 levels, because without that you won't gonna be able to max out military expansion. Well, military expansion is important, one of the most important policies in the game, because it simply gives us a lot more legion capacity, which means we are going to have a lot more troops in our legions than without this policy, right? So chain of command, well, SP recovery speed is important. Like simply the chain of command and spread of the word is connected, because if you want to get prestige, you want to kill darklings or darkling forts, and for that you need to have SP, and recovery speed is always amazing, right? After that, on early game, we have medical supplies and medical recruitment. Well, I think these two policies are normal. I think on every single season we had policies like this. One is giving us daily elixir production, and the second one is daily resource healing, right? Resource healing is getting buffed more and more in the game. So first newest policy in the game on the early stages of the game is opportunist and easy to do it. First one grants 50% of enemies' gathered resources except gems upon defeating a legion holding gathered resources. So this policy is generally for players who wants to defeat the farmers of enemies, and that's what their gameplay is about, especially for cavalry players, right? Because cavalry players and defeating farmers is like just same. Sometimes it's just same, right? Easy to do it, reduces resource gather speed by 20%, but grants 50% more resources upon returning to city. Here I chose opportunist because I think I will be mainly more fighting in KVK than farming, so don't look at it like you were never going to defeat the enemy farmer or something like this. The choice is really obvious. One is for fighting, and second one is to farm more, right? If you are planning to farm more in this KVK, then you are going to choose easy to do it, and if you want to fight more and more, opportunist is the way to go, right? After that, resource healing, really important policy, because resource healing is getting buffed almost every single season. So I think it's a pretty good policy to be upgrading, not on the max, like at least 3 levels, because without 3 levels you won't gonna be able to move through the policy system, right? Next one is the Wellspring of Vigor, stamina limit bonus. It generally gives you more stamina, 50 more stamina, which means you will be able to use your heroes more frequently, right? So you can imagine how important this policy is. So we are now going to the place where this is all new, right? Maybe in the last KVKs you have seen like infantry, cavalry, marksmen, and magic buffs, but here it's totally different. It's a totally different idea. So first of all, if you are going to upgrade counter infantry, it means you are going to deal more damage to infantry players. If you are going to upgrade cavalry, you are going to deal more damage to cavs, same as marksmen and same as magic. As I have said before, you kinda have to know what's your main troop type and how you are fighting with, For example, as an archer main, of course, I'm going to upgrade counter magic because I will be dealing more damage to mage players. And of course, simply because of the infantry meta in the game and the newest heroes, Gorish and Skogul, still really strong. I think counter infantry, especially for marksman player, will be important. So that's why I think I'm going with the infantry counter and I'm going with the mage counter, right? And I hope my choice will be correct because I think that will be the two most important and most frequent enemies which I'm going to fight against, right? After that, Bury the Bones increases the proportion of revived legions in Osiris, while the KVK feature at the end of the KVK, the percentage of dead troops is going to be revived back, right? So more incentives to fight in the game. So make away the next one, it got introduced last KVK, increasing the amount of time that legions cannot be obstructed by other legions when leaving a friendly city or stronghold. And of course, the one extra warrant for catching pets is always fine, right? Here we are still in the early game stages, and slowly we are moving forward to the mid game, right, where all the fighting is starting, and that's why you can see we are close to pink policies, right? First of all, one more decision to make. Apothecary upgrade. I hope I'm reading it correctly. And healthcare reforms. I have my own idea behind these two policies. I'm always choosing healthcare reforms, and my idea is like this: if you are online frequently, if you're playing Call of Dragons like many hours per day, I think elixir production speed in terms of percentages will be better because you are going to be online more, you are going to click on heal more, so speed is great. If you won't gonna be as active as you wanted to be, for example, or you are not sure, elixir capacity limit is totally fine for you, right? So it depends on what kind of gameplay and what kind of playstyle you are going to play, and also how much time do we have for the game, right? That's why I will speak for myself. I'm always picking elixir production speed because whenever there is war or whenever I know that I have troops in my hospital, I'm almost all the time going in game and clicking on heal, right? And on the bottom side, we have stockpile days and daily resource healing. And here I'm always picking daily resource healing, even if you are not going to spend resources for heals and it's not your plan and it's not your idea. I think at the end of the day, you still might have needed because you never know what kind of problem your alliance is going to have, and maybe they will need more players for fighting, right? So here I'm going for medical progress, and here I'm going for healthcare reforms, right? Finally, we are already in a mid game, which means we have military expansion available, and it's a 15 levels here, which means 15% more legion capacity, which means more tanky legion, more damage, and in general more troops for your army. One of the most important policies around here, and it's been like this for a while right now, because I think for many players, military expansions are reason why they are having too much attention in terms of policies, right? So one of the most important ones, don't miss out and try to max it out as much as you can, right? And administrative excellence, two more warrants for our pets to catch every single reset. Not a bad one, but not that really important, right? After that, we are having one more choice, but here we have three choices: healthcare benevolence, reprieve, and diligence, right? It's every single season we are having different kind of buffs. So last KVK we had fighting PvP buffs here, like HP attack buffs, but so far here we have like hospital care capacity limit 50 million, 25 million to 20 million. Daily elixir production 50k, resource healing cost minus 5%, and prestige gain 10%. We have daily resource healing 1 million here, and limit, quantity and limit. Daily elixir production is 20k, and resource healing cost is minus 10%, and also elixir capacity limit 100%, right? And here we have like stamina limit bonus, additional stamina limit bonus, but I think like in general, I'm not sure if I will ever have like 20 million uh, wounded troops in my hospital because I don't have that much troops. So like try to understand what's your gameplay, right? Try to understand how much troops you have. Try to understand if you are going to take all the elixir villages. But in my opinion, I'm almost always picking the middle one because that's like not too much diligence, not too much benevolence. Like reprieve is always medium, always average. That's why I'm almost always going for reprieve. I think like this governance direction have been here for two KVKs, and I have chosen reprieve all the time, right? Of course, there is a like will to choose diligence, but I'm not going to risk it, right? I'm going to take reprieve or benevolence because I liked 50k more daily elixir production, which will be really useful, right? And yeah, finally we are already on the late game stages, and here we have yet again daily elixir production and elixir production speed. The choice, I'm going to choose healthcare reforms because I love elixir production speed from the policies because generally I'm always online whenever there is war. Here we have medical recruitment 2 and medical seminaries 2. Well, here we have like in percentages, and I'm going to always choose things which are in percentages, which is daily resource healing, like 0.5%, right? It will be a lot if you're gonna count it in numbers, right? And yeah, finally we have some new policies in the game, in the later stages of the game. The new feature of this KVK is like a group army, making an army group with your marches. So first one is group tactics, increase defense by 5% when legions are in army. Hasty march increases march speed of army groups you created by 10%, and when not in an army group, legions deal 2% more damage when fighting in army group in the field. Well, actually every single one of them has a great use. I'm not really rating defense in this game, but still I think there is a couple of troop types which loves to have a lot of defense, for example infantry. Hasty March, you might think that this is for cavalry, but I think it will be amazing for archers because archers, when they have a high amount of march speed, they are super useful, especially when you have long range warfare in the game, right? And the standalone, I think standalone is kind of weakest because if you are fighting against army with the one march, I'm pretty sure you are going to die, right? So I think group tactics and hasty march is viable things, and I think hasty march should be the number one priority. Of course, if you are playing any kind of troop type, infantry, mages, cavalry, each of them would like to have more march speed, right? So pretty interesting. Let's see how effective it will be during fights, right? And let's move forward. We have Light of the Beacon, Rallied Army Damage, Captain of the Guard. That's mainly for tier 5 players because as a tier 4 player, I'm not really running any rallies against players. I'm running rallies only against forts, right? Shared Glory, this is the new one. Legions gain more merits when in army group. That's why I said like standalone doesn't really look good because I think like army groups will be the thing in this KVK, and I think it will be effective because, well, if you have a lot of incentives of making army groups, so that's why I think it will be pretty interesting how effective the shard glory will be, and plus we kind of have to max it out because we need to move forward. Bitter End, Legion deals 5% more damage when both sides in a battle have this policy enabled. 2% of both sides severely wounded units will die. This policy is tricky. Don't forget to disable it whenever you are fighting if you don't want to lose your troops, but I'm not going to speak more about the Bitter End because it's been with us for a long time already, right? Palliative Care, gain 1 elixir for every one of your level 4 units that die, and gain 1 merit for one of your level 4 units that die. Well, Glorious Death and Palliative Care kinda looks like same. It's really hard for me to say how effective this will be or what's going to happen with these policies, but I think, well, at the end of the day, we will still max it out and we still kinda have to check it out with ourselves how effective and how much merits we are going to get from these policies. But as a tier 4 player, I would advise you to not waste your troops, not make your troops die, because I think troops are most important policy, most important currency in the whole game, and I think that's what makes Call of Dragons free to play friendly, because we have elixir production speed and elixir stuff, and troops don't generally die if you are not attacking enemy town, right? And yeah, as I have mentioned, policies are really important. As you can see, they are adding more and more stuff in policy section, and I think until you're gonna start upgrading the policies, you need to understand what to do and how you are going to finish the policies. Because if you are going to make a mistake, then I'm sorry, you have to click on reset. You will lose all of your prestige and you will lose all of your progress here. That's why this kind of videos should be important for you guys, and I think whenever I was starting Call of Dragons, this kind of videos was important for me, right? And yeah, as always, if you liked the video, if you understood more than before without watching video, I hope you guys are going to click like, press subscribe, or like share your opinions about these new policies which we are seeing here right now, right? And of course, I have a Discord server. Sometimes I'm putting some gift code there, and we are having sometimes some conversations, so feel free to join. I wish everybody amazing day, morning, and night wherever you are. We are going to see each other soon. Bye bye and luck.